Welcome back to you, baby dolls. This is a follow-up video because Richard Hunt is continuing his messages about single-side staking, and people are interpreting this as negative. And let me tell you something, I already knew that this chart was going to go down. This is the PulseX versus Pulse ratios chart. Let's see what Ricardo himself said as a follow-up. He says, the absolute audacity of straight up begging for other people's money is weird to me. Single-side staking is where someone else gives you their money for doing nothing. The exact same thing you could do just by sending you their money instead of asking you to put coins in a contract beforehand. Don't you feel any shame begging for someone else to give you their money? I don't think I've ever mentioned or spoken about single-sided staking anywhere ever at all except for today. Don't you feel any shame for putting words in my mouth? It must be a lot of people getting a bit angry. Here he is finding a quote. A few people have said that single-sided staking was actually mentioned somewhere in the betas. It was actually put in before. A few people mentioned that it was like on the websites as well, friends. Don't worry about it. And so there are some comments here, friends, but honestly, don't worry about it. Look, he says, I think it's because in early testnet, there was an option and had like a maximum of single-side staking. Other people saying a testnet had single-side staking. Don't worry about it, friends, because at the end of the day, it was going to be tiny anyway. And I can just tell you right now, people are in a mood of fear. The treasury is stagnant. No one knows what it's going to be used for. There is no information. There is no Richard streaming. People feel abandoned, and that is 100% okay to feel that way. I'm just telling you now, I'm going to keep buying more. You can do what you like. I don't care, okay? Red candles, gimme. That's fine. So, just to let you know, this is the Poopy McPoop PulseX chart. PLSX going. These are weekly candles as well, so they are nasty. Just to let you know, we are going way worse than the HEX launch. Way worse already. So, HEX, 4 weeks down, it started recovering up. We had recovered by now. If we were HEX recovery by now, would have been green candle. Instead, we've got another 2 red. Just to let you know. That's just, some cute historical account just to see there. Now, the real chart we want to look at is the PulseX to Pulse ratio. And I can tell you right now, friends, I promise you, hand on heart, this ratio, I don't know what was happening on the right-hand side. I'm telling you right now, I did not know. I knew deep in my bones, the fact that PulseX to Pulse got sent up here was probably from a duck himself. I knew it was going to go down lower. I just knew it. I kept talking about it. I mean, I made videos for you just telling you it's been right here. It's right here, okay? I just tell you right here, it's come back down to this zone. It is what it is. Why? This is the thing, friends. You, as an outsider, you think all of this is chaos. And I understand to the untrained eye, it's chaos. But to me, when you kind of figure out that there are puzzle pieces here and that some things are planned and they appear that they're chaotic in nature, you'll start to understand what I see. And what I see is there's a method to this madness. So when it comes to the PulseX Pulse ratio here, I always believed this would have to be an oscillator. Why? Okay, now you can give me 1,000 reasons. You can go ask Ricardo himself on live streams. He can come and tell you, nah, Somi's stupid. I don't like the way he smells. And by the way, I smell pretty good sometimes. Once a month when I shower. You can say all these. I don't really care. I'm just telling you right now. If I made an open source ecosystem and I had the Grand Theft Auto infinite money glitch, what I would want to do, this is just me, as a peanut brain, what I would want to do is make relative value as an oscillator. Because I want the crowd, the outsiders, the people, me and you, I want them to easily identify cheap and cheap. Right? Not cheap and expensive, cheap and cheap. What does that mean? Down here, PulseX is cheap. Up the top, Pulse is cheap. Remember, it's a ratio. So, of course, you can say PulseX is expensive, but you can really help the marketing when it's going up. Okay, you say, oh, PulseX is going up, but Pulse hasn't reacted yet. That's what it means up here. When we're up here, it means PulseX has gone up, but Pulse has not reacted yet. So that's how you can frame it. You notice that framing, that marketing trick? You don't say PulseX is expensive, let's sell it. You say, wow, the other thing has not moved. Wow, it's cheap. Pulse is cheap. Golly gee. You are a freshly cut pineapple, and I appreciate you. Thank you very much. Thank you for liking, subscribing, press the bell button, and all friends. Thank you very much. This bell button loves you and appreciates you, and so do I. Thank you very much. Every single one of these videos that I've made is for you and no one else. Share with your friends and family. Thank you very much. We're making everyone smarter, making everyone wiser. We don't do any of these leverage trading shilling. I don't want to do any of these bad referral links, all these other time-wasted news, trying to get you into options, leverage trading, and all these other garbage, other influencers, ICO pump and dumps. We're here to change the game. You deserve better. We can do better, and we are here to do better. Let's go back and continue. Have a look at this. So PulseX and Pulse ratio. It's funny, friends. I promise you, I don't know if it's a simulation, unicorn, fairy dust, God, aliens, Satan. I don't know what's going on. I'm just telling you something. I knew this ratio is coming down. It's just such a coincidence that Richard's commentary, his tweets himself, the tweet I've read to you, if you read them by themselves, it seems like he's trying to push the spread one way. But I know deep down it might be conspiratorial to talk like that. So I don't think he really is, but it's just crazy how the universe lines up. It could be, I don't know, some sort of moon cycle, gravitational cycles, circadian rhythm. I don't know what it is. Something's going on, friends. It's spooky. Markets are spooky how everything lines up. You can never solve for time, the fourth dimension, but I'm telling you right now, it's just crazy how I knew. I'm like, okay, well, the oscillator is going to come down. I wonder how it's going to come down. Is someone going to come and buy the hell out of Pulse? And I promise you, I was saying to myself, I said, I wonder if Richard's going to kind of like leave PulseX in the shadows a bit. He's going to kind of fud it. I was actually thinking that. And look, it's coincidentally, it's happening. So look, I'm not going to say all of it is done on purpose. I'm just telling you, it is what it is. That's why if you focus on the news, you don't get anywhere. You see, I drew this chart before the tweets. You don't even need Twitter. I have the cheap zone and the expensive zone here. You don't need it. Okay, this is the same thing when I was talking to you about, friends, if you remember. If you remember eHEX and pHEX, it is the exact same thing. That's why people ask me all the time, what's going to be the narrative that gets the ratio back? What is going to be the narrative that gets it back? How is this ratio going to come back up here? And I say, I don't know what the narrative is going to be, man. I got no idea. All I just know is maybe at some point in 18 months, it kind of gets back there. That's it. Right? You don't make it in this game by trying to predict stories. You make it in this game by just buying low and selling high. That's it. Buy low, sell high. You can change the time you hold. You know, if you're holding for a 2, 3, 4, 5 year time frame, then whatever you buy today is low. You know that now. Okay, you are my baby little baby cake. You are a freshly cut pineapple. I have to repeat to you that you're a freshly cut pineapple with a straight back and good posture. Thank you very much. So this is the zone. So the cool thing is we are leaving this fair value middle zone for PulseX and Pulse. Right. So what it effectively means is if this keeps capitulating, no, we're capitulating. If this keeps capitulating into the dumps, right? You see, people are selling PulseX because they've just got told there's no single side staking. So people are just throwing it out there. Well, I'll just tell you right now, man, this is not what you do, but let them do it. If they want to sell this down to the cheap zone and it goes down here, that's fine. In this cheap zone, and hopefully that's the bottom of it, I will switch to, in my DCAs, it will just switch to PulseX from here. That's what would happen. If PulseX returned up to the top, it would just switch to Pulse. But right now, we're actually still in the middle of the zone, friends. I don't know if you remember, and hopefully you do. I did tell you in many videos, okay, to get them in a ratio, get everything. If you're DCAing, friends, I even have it saved here, okay? You get everything, all right? I have to here. If I was gonna DCA and I don't know what to buy, okay, I come in, I put 33% Pulse. This is just me, not for you, not you, okay, not financial advice. This is what I will do. This is me, okay? 33% Pulse, 33% PulseX, 33% eHEX and pHEX. And I get message and people say to me, I know why you don't want to do it. I completely understand, okay? I'm going to have to write it down for you. This is not diversification. This is actually leverage. I got to repeat this to you. This is not diversification or dilution. I know why people don't want to split it. It's because if they put $1,000, they say, well, I can get like, 150,000 HEX by itself. I don't want to get 25,000 of HEX and then 2 million of PulseX and then 1 million of Pulse. I don't want these little numbers. I don't want breadcrumbs of A, B, C, and D. I want the big loaf of bread. I understand that. But what this is actually doing is this is leverage. This is the thing, okay? If you have a piece of everything, okay, just like we have a piece of friendship between me and you, when a spread blows out, and they will, and trust me, they will. You're seeing it right now. When spreads are starting to move wild, when they move, you can deploy parts of your ammo because you're not all in. Just imagine someone here. I know there are people, right? They just went all in on PulseX. They went all in on PulseX. Now, if this spread keeps going down to here, guess what? They can't buy anymore. They have PulseX. They're trapped. Not really trapped. Like, I don't want to use that word, but they can't do anything. They just have to be at the whim of the market. They just got to hope it comes back. Okay? But wouldn't it be nice if you had a friend like me sitting on a squeaky chair with a straight back, good posture? If this spread came down, you're protected. How are you protected? You bought PulseX and Pulse. You got both of them. So down here, you would sell your PLS. So it's spend your PLS to be buying PulseX. That's what you would be doing here, down here. Okay? That's what you'd be doing because you have Pulse left over, right? This is the exact same thing with the ETH BTC chart. Ethereum and Bitcoin? This is why Ethereum and Bitcoin, think about this, right? So right now, if you had any spare Bitcoin to deploy, you might be buying it for the next leg up. You might be spending the Bitcoin to buy Ethereum. It's the same thing. This is just how this is the game of ratios, friends. So that is the benefit of getting all of these. And as well, you can take this into the eHEX and pHEX world because in the eHEX and pHEX world, if you have, right, parities up here. Well, here's the thing, right? This is the crazy part. If you bought, let's say you had $1,000, whatever, you want a DCA in. If you just went full pHEX, here's the thing. If this goes up even near parity, you can't do anything. You can't participate. You're instant pHEX, right? So if eHEX gains strength, you can't get rid of any eHEX, right? And I mean, for God forbid, like what if, surprise, surprise, what if in a year and a half it actually goes above parity? What about that? Okay. Now, if you're all in pHEX, you are completely blindsided in this. I might even see people FOMOing. They might be selling their eHEX to buy pHEX up here and doing the exact opposite wrong thing. So when you have a piece of the pie everywhere, it's leverage. It really is leverage because you can act when it comes. You can act because if you get it wrong, well, then you're really screwed, right? Just like this person. This person who went all in on PulseX, okay? All in on PulseX. They have no pulse. If it goes down here, what can they do? They can't get any more PulseX by deploying Pulse. If they want more PulseX down there, they have to use fresh fiat. Of course, that's the number one thing you should be doing. And this also helps you what to buy, to be honest, as well, if you have fiat coming in. So, hope you learned something today, friends. You got to see the power of using these to your advantage so you can squeeze every single dollar more out. Because you never know, man. These ratios might go absolutely wild. Just imagine, okay, think about this. Just imagine the ratio does come down here. What if we do capitulate down here to 0.25, right? If you're able to buy PulseX down here, right, if it ever returned up there, you get an extra 86% return. An extra 86% return on your Pulse. That'll be amazing, right? That's great. That's actually you earning yield. Now, of course, you're earning yield by swing trading, ratio trading, adjusting a portfolio, whatever it is. It's not native staking, but I'm opening your mind here into what's possible. So this is much safer, this game, than leverage trading because you're betting on the whole ecosystem anyway. So this is safer. It's not safe per se, but it's just safer. You don't have a forced exit point, okay? So there you go, friends. So yes, Ricardo himself, speaking about single-side staking, he doesn't like it, but of course he doesn't. I mean, he made HEX for HEX is single-side staking, friends. If you want yield, you live off HEX. That's what he wants. He actually, I know his game. He's not even really a game. The strategy is, if you want anything to do with buying a store of value that gives you yield, he wants you to play in HEX. He doesn't want you to go to PulseX. What's PulseX used for? PulseX is used for speculating on the buy and burn for the exchange. You are speculating on the economic activity on the chain. Pulse chain, you're speculating on more projects launching, but you're not there relying on the yield. The yield are just bonuses. It's not there all about the yield. You are not an actual miner. And that's the difference. And at the end of the day, you already know the game, man. If this doesn't work out, we all go to zero anyway. So who cares about this little yield? You know, and if it does work out, you're not going to even care or even remember any of this yield stuff. And chances are, everybody trying to do what they think they're doing, being a smarty pants, everyone's probably going to be 50-50 net break even by the end anyway. That's what you probably find out. So don't forget, tell mom and dad, PulseX and Pulse Ratio, we're going to keep watching it. We're going to love them forever. If it goes cheaper, I'm just telling you right now, my DCAs just switched to full PulseX. If it goes expensive from here, they switch to full Pulse. But right now, it looks like it's going down. We're going to wait and see what happens. Thank you, friends. Like, subscribe, press the bell button, and all. Catch you in the next one.